Good morning and welcome to Herb Oracle Podcast, botanical divination with herbs, essences, flowers, and trees with your host, Herbal Marie. Let's start the day off pulling some oracle cards and getting a few messages. We can shoot the shiitake in a spiritual way-ish. And if you follow me on Instagram, I'll post a pic of the cards at Herb Oracle. Thanks so much for joining me. Here we go. Dang. So the crazy thing about waking up early, since, I'm an expert now, since I've done it 3 days in a row, is how quickly time goes in the morning. Wasn't it just 4 o'clock? So I must have wanted to do this podcast this morning because I woke up, I swear, every hour on the hour all night, dreamt about it when I was sleeping, and woke up an hour before my alarm. So, good morning. We doing this podcast. Why not? I'm not going to let every day be dictated by my teabag quote. Okay? But today it was Ralph Waldo Emerson, and the earth laughs in flowers. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so funny, because I was thinking about doing Soulflower Saturday. Soulflower, the plant spirit oracle deck. So perfect. We're going to do some flowers today. We're going to get a flower message. And just to take a minute, though, to reflect back on yesterday's podcast. Isn't it interesting how, you can pull cards or get a message or have an experience, realization at that moment. And then it's later on that you're like, oh my goodness. You're connect more dots and you see more meaning in the original meaning. So what I'm reflecting on is how cool the layout was yesterday, and how it really was. It wasn't obvious at the time, but looking back, it was super obvious that we got this huge reminder to go vertical, to live in the vertical realm for our support in life. So what does that mean? Vertical realm, right? Our higher energies and our Gaia energies, up and down. Because when we live in that vertical space, we're tapping into our essence self and the energies that are available to us. Now, of course, the reality, this 3D reality that we live in, is a horizontal reality, right? Past, present, future, horizontal. They want you to think that's all there is. But don't forget, you don't have to always be living horizontally. You're allowed to live vertically and going up into those higher good vibrations, spirit world, God source, all that is energy. And vertical also goes down into Gaia and into the energy that comes from the earth. So looking back, when I think about the layout yesterday, I was like, oh my gosh, there it was staring at me. But it's just too damn early. All right, so we are going to do a few messages this morning from the Soulflower Plant Spirit Oracle deck. This is an awesome deck, beautiful cards. The website's mysoulflower.com. It's from Lisa Estabrook. She's a really amazing lady to follow on Instagram. So we're going to get a few messages from there. But first, I want to let you know that I am offering free oracle messages within this podcast. And I've already got a few people lined up with requests, and we're going to start that tomorrow. So I'll be doing a general message for everyone, and then second half of the podcast will be a personal message for someone who requested it. So if you would like to do that, if you'd love a message, make sure that you request one. It's free. Just connect with me on any social media platform that Herb Oracle is on, or you call in to this podcast. All right, how to take a quick 25-minute break there. Take the dogs out. Get annoyed by the dogs. Get annoyed by the husband. Okay, so isn't it great when you're getting ready to do something? A little bit of shade comes your way. All right, got to keep shining that light. So, shine in flowers. What did Ralph Waldo Emerson say? Oh, yeah, the earth laughs in flowers. Okay, we can put that aside. So we are going to get a few messages from this soul flower deck. These are awesome cards. They're all types of flowers and herbs, and the card has this amazing illustration picture on it, and then on the bottom it has a little quote, a little guidance. So they're really insightful. Okay, so we are going to leave this open to the universe to bring in a message. Although I have been thinking a lot about, like I said, living in the vertical realm and also living in the flow. That was also flowing in my mind yesterday about how when we are doing things that we enjoy, we do step out of time. That's why this morning, like, geez, oh man, like 2 hours just flew by, because I'm doing something that I love. So let's leave it at that, and we'll get a message here. Shuffling this nice sized oracle deck. And oh my gosh, okay. So how interesting. So I was shuffling it and I thought, well, why is this card looking up at me already? Because it should be the back of the cards, but this card was actually flipped around and it's rosemary. Rosemary. We were just talking about rosemary the other week. You know rosemary. Yeah, the herb of remembrance and clarity. So we are starting off with rosemary, dew of the sea, with a message about clarity. And wasn't that our leave-off message yesterday? As we were talking about doing our shadow work, diving into the shadow, what we really want is clarity, to be able to see the stars at night, right? So Rosemary says, who are you really? Who are you really? Rosemary infuses the body with warmth and vitality, bringing security and clarity to the spirit, especially when it has lost connection with the physical world. Rosemary helps you to feel fully embodied and grounded so that you are better able to remember who you truly are. So that is a great message to start off with today. Really connecting with our grounded energies, and this is a good energy to do the work of who we need to be today. And I love that it brings warmth because energetically that could be love and compassion. So we're starting off with rosemary. Now on the bottom of the deck is crocus. So didn't we pull crocus yesterday too? Okay, so I guess if we're going to do this every morning, we may just spin off the day before. That'd be all right. So this is all a message about opening. Yesterday, crocus reminded us that we have the capability to cool down, right? As we let our fiery volcanoes explode or blast off or whatever they need to do, we know how to cool down. Crocus also has a message about opening. Tender crocus is one of the first flowers to appear in the spring. She is gently reminding you to open to the beauty and softness of the world, even though it may seem harsh and inhospitable at times. Trust in the process. Yeah, trust in the process. Open and accept the possibility that there is love and magic surrounding you always. So this is great. We're going to put these cards at the top. We want to remember these for sure. That we can have clarity and we can be open to love no matter what. No matter who gets on your nerves first thing in the morning, like, you can still be open to love. You can still know that love is surrounding you, as well as magic, which, not to live in the past, but didn't we pull Morning Glory yesterday, who had a message to awaken to the magic? So know that there is love and magic just with us always. It's our choice, though, whether we choose to tune into it and see it and be open to it. Okay. I feel like giving this deck a shuffle now. Okay, so that's a great message. Let's see what else this deck has for us today. Okay, here we go. Another card. I mean, these cards are short and sweet. We might as well just pull a few. And I don't know about you, but I got to go to work today. All right, so next we have Columbine. Speaking of work, we got a message of abundance. Although we don't have to have our abundance belief system tied into a job. There's so many other ways to be abundant. We can have an abundance of fun. We can have an abundance of love, laughter, connection, blessings, right? We can really have it any way we want. Columbine encourages you, and this is a sweet little purple flower. It's so cute. Columbine encourages you to joyfully embrace life's bewildering array of uncertainties with the kind of confidence that doesn't require too much thought. Perfect. So here we go. It says, go with the flow. You guys, my cards are hilarious. Go with the flow, with what feels right. Abundance is the knowledge and security that comes with the acceptance that all your needs are being met. All right, so first of all, sometimes life is uncertain. Sometimes we do our shadow work. Columbine is saying to just embrace the uncertainties, embrace the bewildering array, and just have that kind of confidence that you just have. You don't really need to think about it or conjure it too much. Just be confident that you are taken care of. I love that I said I've been thinking about flow, and this card says go with the flow, with what feels right. And yeah, just knowing and feeling secure that all your needs are being met. That is abundance. I remember Bashar, which is Daryl Anka, who channels Bashar. And Bashar gave the definition of abundance as being able to do what you need to do when you need to do it, or something. That was a great impersonation. And having the ability, let me think about this again. Having the ability to do what you need to do and when you need to do, regardless of money. Like, just having the resources come to you. Like, you don't need money to be abundant. I gotta work on my quote skills. All right, you don't need money to be abundant. Like, things can just happen for you. The opportunities, blessings, whatever you need can find you with or without money. So that's something to think about. Now, on the bottom of Columbine is Pansy. Oh my gosh. So Pansy, also we got some nice purples in this flower too, along with yellows. Pansy is resonance. So Columbine, just to take one step back before we move 2 steps forward, Columbine says to go with the flow, with what feels right. With what feels right. Follow your passion, follow your interests, follow your feelings. And Pansy is all about resonance. So as we look at this card, well, you can look at it if you come over to my Instagram at Herb Oracle. Pansy says to allow Pansy, and these are pretty yummy to eat, by the way, allow Pansy to instill a sense of stability and safety in your heart. and release fear and anxiety. Whew. So deep breath in. We want to release fear and anxiety. Ease into an understanding of your own heart's deepest truth. So this is often called heart's ease, Pansy, since only with a direct connection and resonance to your heart will you know which path leads to joyful fulfillment. Yes, so we've got to get into our heart space, and we need to start letting our hearts guide us to what we want instead of our minds and our ego and the expectations that we have implanted in our brains of what society thinks our path should look like. Not to be brash and rude this morning, but society doesn't know shit about what your path should look like. Truly. It wants to dictate to you what you should do, you should be doing, you should be staying on this path. Don't veer off, don't look around, don't ask questions. But truly, if you're following your purpose, your soul's calling, that means you need to follow your heart and let your heart lead the way, right? Because that path will lead to joyful fulfillment. We already know what society's path leads to. It leads to a job that you might not like. It leads to, doing these ridiculous holiday things all the time. It means responding in a certain way. It doesn't necessarily lead to joyful fulfillment. So Pansy is just really wanting us to feel stable, to feel safe, to release the fear and anxiety that keeps us from having the confidence to be ourselves and to do our own thing. So release that. Just release that out. It's the full moon tonight. Perfect night. Release it tonight in the full moon of Scorpio. Release that negativity. Release that fear. Let it go because it's just holding you back. And then take some time to get into your heart space. So if you weren't quite sure what your heart's calling is, you can hear it now, right? Because we go back now to our first card, clarity. So you can hear what your heart wants, right? Crocus says be open to the love, to the Columbine's abundance that wants to come in. So does that resonate? Pansy's like, does that resonate? And there should be a part of you that's saying like, hell yeah. Oh my gosh, hell yeah. So we're going to fill out our fifth card here. We're just going to go with the next one in line because I noticed it and I was like, dang, that just makes sense. It's purple too. Our whole bottom row is like violet, violet, purple, violet. And it's Hellebore, which is just the perfect message to complete what all of these amazing flower allies have been saying. Hellebore is all about empowerment. So Hellebore wants you to know how powerful you truly are and to help you tap into your innate female wisdom. You know what you need to do. Oh, you know. It is time to honor yourself. Stop hiding and stand in your own magnificent light with your head held high. Yeah, chins up. So give yourself permission to connect with your heart and lead the way. So we have a lot of messages right here this morning to connect with our heart and let our heart lead the way. Let your feelings guide you. Let your heart space guide you. You're going to be happy. That is the path for sure. Okay, so I believe that is, I just found the title for this podcast, Let Your Heart Guide You. It only took 20 minutes. Okay, so our final two cards. The first one I know, and because I'm looking at it, and the other one will be a surprise to both of us. So Lady's Mantle is coming through with nurturance. So Hellebore said for us to connect with our divine energy, our divine feminine energy. And who is more feminine than Lady's Mantle. So Lady's Mantle is all about nurturance, like being held in your mother's arms. Lady's Mantle brings feelings of gentle reassurance and joyful contentment to your body, mind, and soul, especially during times of upheaval and change. Yeah, we know change is coming. We feel it. So Lady's Mantle is just saying, hey, let me hold you. Let me reassure you. Let me nurture you so you can feel this contentment, a very joyful contentment. So Lady's Mantle says, and this is a really cool flower. It's orangish, and it looks like it just seems like this is like coming up in the morning. Know that you are loved. Know that you are loved and fully supported in all ways. You have all the inner resources you need to be happy and whole. So everything you need is inside of you. You're fully supported, right? Vertically. Definitely vertically. We can't always claim that horizontally, right? If we are only looking in the horizontal world for our support, we can be left feeling, well, quite frankly, unsupported. So we need to quit looking around to other people for our support and go where the full support is, which is inside of us, which is in our heart space and in our vertical space, higher realms and down into Gaia, Earth Mother. So you can feel fully supported in all ways. Know that you are loved. And yeah, it's those inner resources that are gonna be there for us always. Okay, now our last card. And I have to put this beautiful deck away, but like seriously, when you pick up this deck, the Soulflower deck, you want to go through all 44 cards. You're like, I think I need 44 messages today. Let's just pull a quick message, and then we'll do it 44 more times. All right, so this is interesting. We are ending with white pine. So we thought it was all going to be flower power today, but we're ending with a tree. So this to me, before I even tell you about the card, this to me says, yeah, let's definitely get grounded. Let us definitely grow our roots down and be unshakable so we can do our inner work, so we can do our shadow clearing, and we can follow our hearts without being shook about, you know what I mean? Because it may not be an easy path at first, especially if everyone around you is accustomed to you, just doing what you're expected. So white pine comes in with some wisdom. Yeah, like a loving parent. And so we're being held. Our bottom two cards here on this spread, we're being held by parental mothering energy. Although white pine feels like it has a good balance, feminine and masculine. But this says, like a loving parent, white pine holds you in her embrace so that you feel safe, grounded, and still. So, second message for us to feel safe and grounded and still, and can find this space for quiet reflection. She helps you tap into the ancient wisdom stored in your heart and release your worries to be absorbed by the earth. So our message today for sure from white pine is that you are allowed to release your worries and your fears and your negativity. Just give it to the earth. I mean, we will absorb it and we will compost it for you and turn it into black gold. Right? All the shit in your life. Give it to the earth and allow it to we're going to compost it a long time. And then it will be something beautiful and viable for you to apply to your life. All right, so thank you so much for hanging out with me this morning. Ooh, take a nice deep breath and just, release your worries, fears, negativities, anything that's holding you back from following your heart. Release that into the earth to be absorbed and transmuted into something beautiful. All of the cards today, rosemary, crocus, columbine, pansy, hellebore, lady's mantle, and white pine, are encouraging us to go within, feel into our heart space, connect with that support, and really, I don't want to say extract, but that is the word I'm going to use, I guess. Extract the wisdom that can only come from within. It's really time for us to stop looking outside of ourselves for our joy and for our guidance. Joy and guidance live within. They live within your heart, and you have access to it 24/7, no matter what changes are happening in your life, no matter what emotional clearing work you're doing. It doesn't matter. You have this support system. You have this empowerment to be guided and to follow your dreams in a joyful way. So thank you so much. Dang, these are so fun. I love this deck. I love the Soulflower deck. Just amazing. So head on over to Herb Oracle, check out the pictures. I'll take some close-ups so you can see how cool these cards are. And have a wonderful, beautiful day.